What's up, what's up? Welcome to Startup X, episode 28, presented by 26 TV. I'm your host, Six Sensei. Joining me today is Six Psycho. What's up, partner?
What's up, guy?
Not a whole lot, man. If you want to see your gameplay here on the Startup X Gaming News Podcast, all you got to do is save it to your vault, labeled Startup X. And just tell us in the comments, right? The email is getting kind of out of hand and it's crazy. Just tell us in the comments that you got a gameplay, and I'll go grab it.
Or on Twitter. Twitter's easy.
Twitter's good, too. You can follow me. I'm at 26TV. You can follow him. He's at sick_psycho. That's SIK_SYKO.
Just same as my gamer tag.
Same as gamer tag. Same as everything else. We'll put in the link in the description.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you guys right quick. And there's a little bit of legwork to this, but if it's worth it, if you guys want to see it, if I believe that you're going to utilize it, then I'll go through it, right? So the question is, would you benefit, or would this whole podcasting thing benefit if it was actually on iTunes or your iPod?
If it would be a legitimate podcast.
If it was a podcast. So we just sit here and talk and throw the video up on YouTube. Really is all we do. We call it a podcast. But what do you benefit? Like, would you rather listen to it on your way to work, or would you rather, any of those things? Would it be easier for you to listen to?
Would it behoove you to have it as
I did not want to say that word.
Well, I said it.
Congratulations.
Because I'm a monster.
Anyway, would it be beneficial if it were on iTunes, if it were available in your general podcasting locations? So just tell us in the comments, say yes, no, hell yeah, I want to see this on iTunes. I'd rather listen to it on my way to work. Or
stay the fuck off my iTunes.
Whatever you want. Or say, hey, YouTube is fine for me, this is great, and we'll keep doing it here and iTunes, or we'll flip-flop. Let us know what you think. But anyway, first on the agenda, we'll get this out the way right quick. There's been, Activision announced in a recent earnings call that Elite 2.0 is coming out. Now this isn't like, this is just like an update, just like Windows updates.
They're getting bored updating Call of Duty every week, so they're gonna update Call of Duty Elite now.
Well, what people are crazy about, they're thinking it's like the next level. You got to add another subscription, more paid services. No, it's just like an update. It's like you download PlayStation Network or your PlayStation Update 4.0. This is just 2.0, but it's just a major advancements, and
that's why it's called 2.0 instead of 1.12.
Yeah, Call of Duty Elite needs some major advancements. They're lacking a lot of things, and a lot of the services just don't work. So I can't wait to see this. And supposedly it's going to launch with Black Ops 2. So basically, my thoughts is when Treyarch takes over, they're going to fix all the issues that Infinity Ward can't figure out. Because Treyarch, let's face it, they're the better developer overall in supporting their games and stuff like that. But more on your news, and I haven't played this game yet, and you've been playing the shit out of it, and we've actually ragged on the multiplayer. I want to get into that right out of the gate. So Mass Effect 3, let me throw this news out there. They shipped 3.5 million units. That's pretty big, right, already. 3.5 million copies have been shipped, not sold, probably sold. They sold.
By now, yeah, they've probably been sold.
Just in North America alone, they sold 890,000 units, almost a million, right? You might as well call it a million. In the first 24 hours in North America. That's big numbers, baby. Big numbers. So I wanted to talk about the multiplayer. We kind of ragged on it a couple episodes ago, and you and Lawless played it. Dude, what do you think about it? Give us a rundown.
That multiplayer is seriously addictive.
Really?
The main reason why it's so addictive is because it's so challenging.
Okay.
I mean,
it's a challenge. That's good.
Granted,
and to keep in mind, people, I never played this game. Haven't touched it. I do plan on it, but haven't had the opportunity yet with the new baby and everything. Are there levels? Do you pick easy, medium, or is it just you do pick? Okay.
Yes. The way you set up a match, you have to set up what location you're going to be in.
Okay.
Who you're fighting, and basically the difficulty is bronze.
So there's variety too.
Bronze, silver, and gold.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Variety in your location, and
right.
Does that change the mission type too? Because isn't it mission based? You work together, defeating the waves and advancing towards the next objective.
You defeat waves, and I believe you get missions at wave 3, 7, and 10.
Okay, all right.
You get objectives you have to complete in addition to killing the waves.
Okay, now what about ammo and weapons and leveling up? Is all of that in there? How's that work? And what are the characters you're playing with?
Well, you can actually unlock characters. You start out with you can pick the different characters you can pick in the game, like the Vanguard or the Infiltrator or the Adept or the Soldier. You can be those in the multiplayer, but with the in the multiplayer, you only have 3 special abilities for each person. So you have to pick. You have to basically plan your group that you're gonna
strategy.
Yeah,
work together ahead of time.
Exactly.
Pick what you want.
Like me, I'm right now I'm using a Sentinel, and
okay.
I carry 1 gun because in Mass Effect 3 they brought out they brought out a weight system.
Oh,
The more guns you carry, the more weight you have on you, and
interesting.
If you exceed your weight capacity, it takes longer for your powers to recharge.
Weird.
Yeah. And
okay, but I can get on board with that because it creates that level of difficulty. Now, again, with the ammo, is it beneficial for you to have more weapons? Like, what's the balance in that? Do you rather just have one versatile assault rifle, or would it be beneficial to have like a sniper rifle, an assault rifle, and a shotgun?
I mean,
but then you lose all those capabilities. Is that balance?
It depends on your gameplay style. See,
okay.
me, I have 1 weapon. I carry an assault rifle, but it's pretty much like the base weapon.
Yeah.
It's a good weapon to use, and my power recharge level is really high. I mean, I could throw powers like pretty much non-stop,
concussion shots all day.
Pretty much, yeah, dude. I'm pushing people all the time. I'm warping people. I mean, dude, I can push somebody before they get off the ground. I can push them again. I mean, it works out really well, especially like you said. Me and Lawless been playing.
Yeah.
He wields 2 weapons.
Okay.
So he's got a secondary weapon, and in the multiplayer there's ammo stations like planted in different parts of the map.
You just go grab it.
Yeah. If you run out of money, or if you run out of ammo, no, you don't need no money.
It's just a weapons cache.
Right. It's an ammo cache. You just go over there and pick up the ammo.
Does holding an extra weapon actually slow you down?
It doesn't slow you down, but like I said, it
doesn't physically slow you down. It just slows down.
It slows your power recharge rate.
All right. Cool. Well, I'm excited about that. I can't wait to play with you guys. I mean, it sounds really cool. You said you level up and you earn upgrades and things like that.
You level up just like in the single player mission. You level up and you use the points towards your powers and all that stuff. And in the objectives, in the multiplayer mission, you earn credits and you can buy. They call it like recruit packs. It's like basically you get ammos and power ups, and the like miscellaneous. It's like buying like a deck of baseball cards.
Okay.
You don't know what you're getting, but if you spend more money on the bigger packs, you get better stuff.
There's a good chance. There's a better chance you're going to get something cool. Now, how does the multiplayer, or does it at all, tie in to the single player? Is there any way at all that they're combined at all?
It increases your galactic readiness to fight the Reapers.
I don't really know what that means yet.
I haven't done a lot of research into that, but before the game
that was awesome.
Before the game came out, it was rumored that you'll get a better ending if you have your galactic readiness to 100%. Basically, if you pretty
much beat the multiplayer.
Well, there's no beating because I was looking at the leaderboards the other day and they had a dude level 614.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I've been playing for a week and I'm level 11.
Whoa, holy shit. That sounds like boosting to me. He figured something out.
A little bit. That's what me and Laura said.
That sounds like some damn boosting to me. So the single player, of course, is epic, but did they change anything? We talked about it a couple weeks ago, like your ability to choose what type of game you wanted to play.
When you start a new game, they give you an option. I picked the original Mass Effect experience. It tells you this is the original Mass Effect experience. There's no difference.
It's the game they built.
But
what were the other options? I'm just curious. What were they? Obviously, you're not playing them, but what were the other options?
There was. I think one was an action. Create an action character where basically there's no dialogue. You just jump straight into the action. You go.
So the storyline is laid out for you.
Basically, it's just mission to mission. And as one, it's I think one was called an RPG mode. You all you basically doing is just leveling up your character and dealing with the powers and shit. But like there's
less combat.
There's no decision making as far as you go. I mean, you see the dialogue, but you don't make any decisions.
That's RPG mode?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I would have thought RPG had the dialogue, had the decisions.
Well,
I would have thought it had less of the combat.
That's the cumulative thing. That's the original Mass Effect experience.
So they got one side, the other side, and dead in the middle.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's cool as long as it didn't take away from the experience, and apparently it hasn't, right? The multiplayer hasn't taken away. These other renditions haven't taken away. So I'm impressed with EA.
All they did was added features, and dude, it's amazing. I guarantee it would be Game of the Year.
Hopefully, it's still considered Game of the Year, at least so early. That hopefully it still is in people's minds, you know, when Game of the Year questions come around.
It'll be
because it's going to be a while before we get to that point. But
episode 28.
Episode 28. You're calling it. Psycho says
Mass Effect 3 Game of the Year.
Nice. Can't wait to see it. I mean, it's going to be exciting. Like I said, it's selling like hotcakes, and maybe one of the reasons is that they're appealing to a wider audience, like we talked about previously.
Dude, they get all these extra features. Everybody's like, well, man, I ought to check this out. And dude, it might develop more money for the whole Mass Effect games, because they'd be like, wow, this game's so awesome. Let me check out the other games.
Sweet. So real quick, last thing about this, the community, and we don't know anything about the ending. No spoilers, don't get worried here. But the community is kind of in an uproar about the ending. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
I've seen that.
I've seen a little bit about that, and I'm kind of curious as to what it means. Maybe they're not happy.
Well, like I said, dude, maybe they just blew straight through the single player, and they didn't do any multiplayer, because like I said, before the game came out, I heard rumors that the multiplayer gave way. If you made everything 100%, it gave way to a better ending. So maybe they got the shitty ending, and they're like, well, this sucks.
I really would think that BioWare knows better. Right, because a lot of people are going to buy this game and say, I don't want to play the multiplayer. I want nothing to do with the multiplayer. I want my Mass Effect, and I want it just the way that my Mass Effect is. So, I don't think BioWare is dumb enough to make a shitty ending and a phenomenal ending. Maybe there's like a little twist or a little addition, but that's it, right? If you play the multiplayer, you level it all the way up. Maybe there's just that little twist at the end that like a little nod to the fact that you've done it. I think that's the only difference you're going to get. I don't think they're going to screw up the ending and say, hey, play the multiplayer, you get a better ending. I don't think they're going to do that. I
don't think they will.
I have more faith in BioWare than that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, that's pretty much it for the Mass Effect news and stuff.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, neither one.
I don't know what the ending's going to be.
You are Lawless hasn't come to the ending. I mean, I'm nowhere close, and I don't think Lawless is any closer than I am. So, I mean, dude, I don't have my own opinion to put on the subject.
Yeah,
but
no, I knew that already. But I just think it's interesting.
My assumption is that it's not as bad as everyone is tweeting it out to be.
Probably. Right, it's probably not as bad. I mean, the story, you just got to put a little faith in BioWare. They've done it phenomenally twice. Let's hope they did it again. Now, maybe the only problem is they didn't flesh out the story enough, right? This is supposed to be the close to Mass Effect.
Maybe they're getting depressed that the story's over. It's like there's no
more
Mass
Effect.
Right?
It's quite possible. But moving on, right? We talked enough about Mass Effect. Real quick in the rumors.
Never talked too much about Mass Effect.
We talked a lot about Mass Effect. Maybe not too much. Maybe go back to it. You never know. But we talked in a previous episode about Valve possibly making a Steam box or a console. Valve has come out and said, no, they're not. That's just rumors. They're not going to make a console. I think
it's not cost effective.
I think it was a potential thing. I think, and they're just kind of saying no. I think it actually was a possibility that Steam was going to come out and make a console.
I think it's it's too cost effective.
We talked about Lawless actually kind of called it out and said, Valve isn't worth all that much money. Valve is worth over $3 billion.
Well,
and then Gabe Newell himself is worth $1.5 billion. He's the leader of Valve.
Well, the thing is,
that's a lot of fucking money. $1.5 billion. That's just him, right? He's worth alone half of what the entire Valve company is worth. Yeah. That's a lot of money, dude. So I mean, in retrospect, there's without a doubt in my mind that they have enough money, enough resources to make that console.
But I mean, they don't want to invest that much capital into something that will probably fail.
Possibly fail. I'm not gonna say probably.
I say will probably fail, dude. I mean, look at it, dude. There's really only two consoles. There's only the PlayStation and the Xbox.
There's the Wii. The Wii's phenomenal. The Wii's amazing.
I'm gonna slap you in the face. Straight upside the face.
Trollololol.
Just a little bit.
No, the Wii U is obviously stupid. They're talking about changing that name. We talked about that.
Yeah,
already.
We talked about that last week.
I'm excited. I want to see what they're gonna do about that because I think the Wii U is just.
They're gonna call it the Mario box.
The Mario box, because that's all it really is, right? That's the only games anybody truly cares about on the Wii.
Yes.
But let's move on. Assassin's Creed 3. I'm super excited about this game. And I really want to see the new direction that they're going to take. And I'm going to call it a new direction because so many things are different in this game than before. And
yeah, dude, they're definitely taking a gamble. Go
4 games in.
They're spreading far away from their comfort zone.
I'm excited. Well,
dude, I am. Dude,
so there's been several different Ubisoft has several different games development teams, if you will, on Assassin's Creed, all kind of around the same central hub story, but this one is the same development team that did 1 and 2. I think I mentioned that in the last episode, but I just wanted to make sure that people were aware that the Brotherhood and Revelations were kind of like knockoffs, if you will, of the first 2. They were good games.
I haven't played Revelations yet, but Brotherhood was an amazing game.
I played about half of Brotherhood, and when I got through about half, I just said, you know what?
You did not get through half. You liar.
I really did.
Liar.
I got through about half of it.
Liar.
No. I got through about... Check my trophies. I got through at least half of that game.
Liar.
So anyway, when I got to that point, whatever point it was, which was about half, I just had felt like I had enough of 2, and it was just kept going. It was just like 2 continued. And I played about 16 hours of 2, and I was done with 2. I was ready for 3. So finally we're getting 3. And this game is going to be set in a different time period, right? The other ones are set in the 1400s, the 1200s, the 13s. This one's set between 1753 and 1783.
The birth of America.
Right, so 1753 is a significant date because it is the year of the French and Indian War. And the 1783 is the Treaty of Paris. So, you know, I'm kind of excited to see that, you know, this is my history, this is my country's history. And I want to see their take on it because I think their take on everything else has been extremely interesting.
They've put a great twist
on
on history.
Not only in history, but in a sense religion too. Let's not get too far into spoilers.
Well,
That's
I mean,
a spoiler
religion
in its
is a
own.
part of history, but I mean,
Absolutely,
they just put a whole they've put an interesting twist on the entire situation, dude. I
Most definitely.
I love the entire storyline of Assassin's Creed in general, and I can't wait to see what to do with the American Revolution.
So here's my thought, and I haven't heard anybody else bring this up yet, any other podcast or any other websites. I'm sure somebody else has, right? There's a billion people out there, but my thought is, what if, just throwing out a what if the whole battle between the Templars and the assassins, if you will, what if the whole reason that the that people even came over here, or not the whole reason, but the majority of the reason that people came to the new country, if you will, in search of a new life, in search of religious freedom and no longer having persecution, was the assassins leaving the Templars. And maybe that's the whole reason for like the whole war and everything. It's an interesting take on the story.
I don't think they would take a coward's way out and flee.
It's not a matter of fleeing. It's a matter of freedom. It's a matter of getting away, right? The Templars are huge. The Assassins are kind of underground.
Yeah,
I think that could be an interesting twist.
But
they're not rewriting history.
The Assassins have always like held their ground.
I think they fight for what's right, and the Templars are just bullshitters, and they just do their thing.
I think you're wrong.
We'll see. I mean, no, I'm not saying that that's right. I'm saying that's an interesting idea for the story. So anyway, you're going to be fighting the British, obviously. And, we get a new hero in this game. So obviously, I mean, a couple hundred years later, Ezio can't still be alive.
No.
So the new hero is
I don't know. He's got
Connor.
the piece of Eden.
That's a little bit of a spoiler, but anyway.
How was that a spoiler?
That's from the first game and the second game, and it's part of the
Dude,
ending.
if you haven't played those games yet, you shouldn't be watching this.
Doesn't matter. It's a spoiler. So we get a new hero. His name is Connor.
He looks like an Indian.
I'm not gonna. you threw that out there before, and you had two major good points. Obviously, I don't think he is Indian. I think he's from the lineage that come from the across the pond.
I think he's an Indian because he has a lack of facial hair and he's dark complected. And I mean, he just under the cow. I mean, they didn't show a direct look at his face.
There's no.
They've only showed a profile. Hair. He looks like Ezio had.
Well, he did have a goatee. You're right.
Dude, and in Revelations, he had like a full beard, a gray beard.
I haven't played Revelations. So, anyway, so he's clean shaven. Like you said, there's possibly maybe he is Native American.
Yeah.
We don't want to call him Indian, I guess, because that's wrong.
Because nobody's just like born an assassin. They got to be trained. And maybe they train some Indians.
Obviously, there's a bloodline.
Native Americans. But
obviously, there's a bloodline because the whole Animus system works off of Desmond's blood, his blood memories.
That's a good point, but I still think he's an Indian.
I think it is Bloodline. So another thing is in the trailer, there's like a little hint of the Animus. So we're still working in the Animus. Obviously, every game is worked in the Animus. So Animus 3.0, whatever it's going to be. But some of the interesting things is that the weapon changes, right? I'm excited to see these weapon changes. I'm kind of burnt out. I was burnt out just in Brotherhood. So we're gonna see the axe or the tomahawk, whatever you want to call it.
Throwing axe.
The throwing axe. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. We're gonna see some
Throw
guns.
it, duh.
I don't know. Well, I don't know what different things he's gonna do with it. We're gonna see some guns. You know, we're gonna see some flintlock and some muskets and bayonets on weapons, and that's cool shit right there. We're gonna see the long bow. He's in the trailer.
Yeah.
In the trailer, he's got the long bow, so you know you can sit at the top of the treetops and take them out. That's gonna be kind of cool.
That's an assassin's tool.
Potentially, he's going to be dual-wielding pistols. So, like the Kentucky flintlock and things like that, dude, that could be cool. Dual-wielding weapons in general.
So he's got 2 shots instead of 1.
Exactly, right? So one of the questions, though, is across the pond, in old Rome and old Italy and everything, there's building. There's just concentration of very simple geometric figures for you to climb. Now there's not, right? You're in the old American Revolution times, and now there's pretty much just trees and small buildings and little churches and
And in a trailer, they showed him running up a tree.
They showed him run up a tree, but my only question is, I mentioned the simple geometry before because, how much freedom are you going to have to run on these trees? Is there going to be kind of like set paths?
No,
It's kind of going to be weird. Like, I just kind of hope the system's not broken, right? From a game development standpoint.
Well, not that it's broken, but that it's not primitive. Not like, well, you can only go up like this.
Exactly.
You can't jump halfway up and then go up that way. You have to start right here and go all the way up.
The simple geometric figures of the rectangles and the squares and you grab this ledge and do that. That they could fit that into the entire world. That was the Rome and Italy that we played in before, but the trees being so dense.
Also, I mean, you also can't think. Okay, so maybe you got total freedom, but every like different forest you go to is exactly the same.
Right, I was gonna say repetition. Like they only have a certain like there has like a patch of trees. This all works. Let's just repeat that everywhere. In this, he could climb everywhere in this same patch of trees. So I don't know, from a development standpoint, from a game developer standpoint, I don't know how that's going to work.
Like hopefully, I said, they've gone far out their comfort zone.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see. But there are a couple big figureheads, big things that have been confirmed by Ubisoft. George Washington is going to be in this game, and that's cool, right? I don't know if he's. I don't know. I didn't look it up. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I'm not a big history buff, not a huge history buff. I don't know if he was president during this time period. I think he was a general.
No.
I don't think there was a president during this time period. So anyway, George Washington.
Was signed to 1796.
Then thank you, Mr. History Buff. Ben Franklin's in this, so that's interesting as well. And Charles Lee is a big figurehead. I had to look this up. He's the general of the Continental Army, but he was a British soldier beforehand. So he turned. He did a flip flop there. But I'm excited for Assassin's Creed 3. It's supposed to be the close of Desmond's story, but my thing is Desmond has never really been that interesting of a character to me.
Dude, we've never really played as Desmond. I mean, in Brotherhood, we get to like travel around a little city that we're in.
But everything you do as Desmond is optional for the most part.
Pretty much, dude. I mean,
he's not a likable character. He's not anything that anybody cares about.
What I would like him to do is progress Desmond's story. Leave him out of the Animus.
I want to play Assassin's Creed in today's time, or a little bit in the future, whatever they're doing. Obviously, Desmond's story is set a couple years in the future. I want to play a whole game there, and I want to close the story.
Well, not just a whole game, maybe not a whole game, but the majority of the game there. Maybe throw a few flashbacks into the past, but for the next Assassin's Creed,
I want to close it. I want
to have a modern game, dude. I want to have a modern assassin.
I want to close the story.
That would be badass.
Yeah, I think it would. Right? Snipers and everything like that.
I
think they're not ready for that. I think from a development standpoint, I don't think they're ready to do that. I think they're in there, like you said, their comfort zone. They keep working in these the assassins and the primitive weapons and things like that. And I want, and this is just me and maybe a lot of people out there, but I want to see the game that closes the Assassin's Creed story. I want it to be over. That's what I'm waiting for. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I want my yearly Assassin's Creed. But I
don't need any game yearly. I just
need Call of Duty yearly. That's all I need.
Fuck
I know
Call
you
of
need
Duty.
Call of
Duty sucks. I don't need Call of Duty. I don't need any game yearly. I just need a good game yearly. You give me at least one good game yearly, and we're good. Like last year was amazing. We had like 8 good games.
There were
this year
is,
dude. It's teaming up to be almost as epic. Probably not as epic.
Not quite as epic.
But dude,
2011 was amazing. 2012 is looking to be pretty damn good.
It's looking to be pretty good.
Pretty freaking phenomenal.
But dude, I mean, I don't have to have the same game over and over and over and over and over. I like variation. I like complications. I like all his different intrications and
intrication. I like making up words too. Those are always fun.
But dude, I mean, I don't like playing the same game over and over. Dude, I did that with Madden for like 6 years, and I was like, I'm done with that. Fuck that. That's like with the
Madden's
racing
one
game.
Of those games. Madden's one of those games that they just don't change. They don't do much with.
Dude,
they do a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
But they don't have any competition.
And they lose their customer base. Dude, I'm pretty much done with Madden.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of people are done with Call of Duty. I mean, Call of Duty's fallen off the face of the earth for most people. The way that I change my game in Call of Duty, the way that I enjoy it is change weapons. There's so many people out there that just grab the biggest try-hard weapon and they play with it and play with it and play the same.
That's because they don't like losing, so they pick the best weapon and they play.
I don't
with
like
the best
losing
weapon.
either, but I like to adjust, adapt, and overcome. You know, when I play Black Ops, then I'm not trying to sound cocky here. It's just the truth. For a long time there, I was playing with my AUG and with my Galil. I got like 12,000 kills with the Galil, and I was getting dogs on top of dogs every single game. And it got a little boring, so I was like, what's this quick-scoping business? What is this? I don't know anything about it, but let me check it out. I got with my boy Reg Rage, and he's like, look, it's kind of broken, this game, but I'll show you how to do it. He shows me what's up, and I enjoy it, right? I drop my KD. I say, fuck the KD. I don't care about stats that much, you know, whatever. So I jump in, and I enjoy the game again because I'm trying something new inside the game. So like you said, variety is the key. It's the spice of life. And for a lot of people, they don't want to try the variety of Call of Duty. They don't like dying. They don't like, you know, giving those things a chance. And in all honesty, it kills games like Call of Duty, like Madden for them, because they don't try those variety. They don't try different things inside of the same game like I tend to do. I play with shotguns and submachine guns and light machine guns and sniper rifles. When I get bored with something, I try something else. You know, so for me, that's why Call of Duty has survived in my game. But I don't know. For a lot of people, it's fallen off the face of the earth.
Because it sucks.
There's a lot of aspects of it that do suck. I can't argue with you.
Like all of them.
I can't argue with you on that, but I'm not going to.
No, you can't. All of them suck.
Anyway,
all of them.
That's all the news we have for you guys this week. Sorry we missed last week. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on 26 TV's Startup X. I'm Six Sensei. Thank you, Psycho.
Anytime.
And we're out. Peace.